The No Fate channel checking in, and I'm going to be going over my top 3 tips on how to reduce your running time specifically for the CrossFit Hero WOD Murph. But first, I need to throw on the weighted vest and get warmed up because it's a brisk one today. If this is your first time to the channel, go ahead, hit that red subscribe button. I'm just a dad of 2 trying to be a great parent to my kids and still accomplish my own personal goals. And one of those goals is to take on CrossFit Hero WOD Murph. If I've done a whole series on it in the past with respect to just getting it done, and I did it weightless. This year, I'm going to be doing it as prescribed with a 20-pound weighted vest. So I'm going to give you my top 3 tips on how to reduce your time with this weighted vest on, and in general with regards to improving your run time. And then finally, we are going to test my mile time with this weighted vest on. So please comment below what you think I'm actually going to get for the mile with this weighted vest. So tip number 1 is that you have to carry your own engine. And what that means, especially in running, is that the bigger you are, the more you weigh, the more work you're going to have to do. So in running, back of the envelope calculation, for every pound of body weight you're able to lose, you can shave 3 seconds off your mile time. That's especially prevalent when you're running really long races, but hey, 3 seconds is 3 seconds, and ultimately that extra weight that you are able to lose is going to help you with any type of body weight movements like burpees, like push-ups, like air squats, and like pull-ups. Now, for many of us, we don't like to think of ourselves as having to lose weight, but if we're being honest with ourselves, if you can grab your stomach, grab a good wad of skin and fat, you probably have got some weight to lose. So you want to lose any extra weight that you can. And if you're training for Murph, hopefully it'll come off pretty quick. Now, tip number 2 is that you have to get comfortable with running. And while that sounds pretty obvious, I wanted you to think of Olympics. I want you to think of sprinters, of high performance runners. And when you watch them run, you'll notice that they don't grimace. They are not tight. They are loose. They are relaxed. And even though they are putting out tons of output, even though they are in a state of hypoxia with almost no oxygen in their system because they're going at such a fast clip, they're still loose. They're still relaxed. When you tighten up, when you try to really force it, unfortunately, that's when you can hurt yourself. That's when you go slower. That's when you're really draining your system unnecessarily. So how do you get comfortable with something that is just by nature of the beast uncomfortable? And the truth is, unfortunately, it's just repetition. You've got to just train, train, and train. And I think what a lot of people fail to realize is that in general, running, not that good for your body, especially if you're a bigger individual. It just beats up your joints, beats up your body, and then when you throw on 20 pounds, it's even worse. So I wouldn't suggest going out for long runs with your weighted vest on. I would actually suggest going out for shorter runs, but just doing more of them, or even better, doing runs with intervals to kind of train yourself in the transition. So run a mile, do a whole bunch of burpees, push-ups, and pull-ups, run another mile, right? Murph, the whole idea. Or do a lap, do some air squats, do another lap, do some air squats. Stuff like that to train yourself to get used to being tired from a run, but then continuing through into the next workout. Overall, in order to reduce the impact on your joints with regards to running or with regards to a weighted vest, find a track. Believe it or not, the surface you run on does matter. Tracks are going to be a lot more forgiving than concrete or pavement. Also, if you can run on grass, even better. If you're looking to improve your time with Murph, I think the number 1 easiest way is to improve your run time. Obviously, 2 miles is a huge chunk of time on the clock for Murph, and it's probably the best and quickest way to kind of just shave off time, because small improvements can go a long way in 2 miles worth of running, especially with your weighted vest on. It is just a cold, hard fact, pardon the pun, that when your body is cold and tight, it doesn't perform well. I don't care if you're running, benching heavy, doing Murph, doing CrossFit. If your body is not ready to go, it's just not going to perform as good as it should. And if you've ever lifted weights cold, you'll know that the first few sets feel super brutal as your body's really forcing itself to warm up. And you oftentimes feel better at the middle of the workout than you did at the beginning because you're finally warmed up. But when it comes to performance, when it comes to trying to maximize your performance at Murph, you gotta be stretched out, you gotta be warmed up. A few issues people do with regards to stretching is they stretch cold. can't stretch a cold rubber band. You got to warm it up first. So you want to get your body warm and loose before you even start stretching. The other issue with regards to stretching is people don't hold the stretches long enough. You really want to be doing a stretch like a 20-second count, okay? If not longer. Don't rush the stretches, hold the stretches. Oftentimes too, if you have a problem like I do, and you're lazy or you're in a rush, do each stretch twice. Go once around and then go back around again. You're gonna find the second time around, you're gonna get a better, fuller stretch because your body is gonna be more prepared for that stretch. Now, stretching is a pretty boring topic, I know. So the last piece of stretching advice I can give is to stretch your entire body. If you're running, don't just stretch your legs, stretch your upper body. And if you're doing upper body in the gym, stretch your legs and lower back too, because it's all tied in. And if you've got one weak link in the chain, guess what? You're gonna be going to Snap City. So I'm actually gonna get some warm up in, some stretching in, and I am gonna clock myself on my mile time with this weighted vest. And I'm not gonna go all out. I want to see how well I can run this mile comfortably so that I don't have to just die at the end, that I would be able to continue with the rest of Murph, to give myself a starting point on where I should be training and what speeds I should be training at. Ideally, finding that initial time today and then chipping away, trying to reduce that time, getting comfortable with the suck of just trying to get that time, improve that time, so that come game day, come Memorial Day, I'm able to kind of just push through the run portion of it, at least the first mile, and then hopefully hold on at the very end of the second mile.
Tomorrow.
All right, guess below, if you haven't already, what you think my mile time was with this 20-pound weighted vest. I got good news and I got bad news. The bad news is it was 9 minutes, 39 seconds, and it wasn't pretty. I'm not exactly gassed, like I couldn't go on to finish Murph, but not necessarily what I was looking for a starting point. The good news is there's tons of room for improvement. So hopefully over the course of this training, just hitting these reps again and again, just trying to do some form of weighted vest running, some form of weighted vest anything over the next few weeks will improve and drop that time down significantly. I feel like I have a long way to go until Memorial Day, but hopefully things will pick up quickly with regards to my performance and time as I continue to grease that groove, get used to getting comfortable in the uncomfortable. Obviously, running with a weighted vest, super uncomfortable. But from a practicality point of view, from a real life scenario point of view, if you ever had a run in an emergency type situation, what are the odds that your hands are going to be completely empty? I know for me, I'm probably going to have my kids with me, so I'm going to throw one of those over my shoulder, and my son weighs a whole lot more than this 20-pound weighted vest. So even though it's not great, it's not comfortable, it is extremely practical to run with weight on you, because very rarely in life do we have to run in an emergency situation in our running shorts, properly stretched out, and have our running sneakers on. Hey, if you came this far in the video, please do me a favor, give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, drop any questions you have regarding Murph, weighted vest Murph, or that dad life in the comments below. As usual, thank you for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back.
This channel is dedicated to my life as a father of 2 wonderful children, and it centers around health, fitness, and all of the tricks and tribulations that I go through to try to be a great parent to my children and still accomplish my own personal goals.